third graders, Mrs. Oliver here. I am here to talk to you about our story this week, which is Unit 1, Week 2. It's called The Dream Catcher, and you can find that in your Floppy Book on pages 38 through 43. Our story is realistic fiction, which means it is a made-up story, but it could really happen. And in our story, our main character is a little boy, and his name is Peter. He has to do a presentation for school on something about his culture or tradition that his family does. This really upsets Peter. I kind of get the inference that he's really shy, he's introverted. Having to talk in front of his class is a really scary thing for him. He ends up explaining this to his grandmother, where they create a dream catcher together, which is a tradition of the family, and he decides to teach the class how to make a dream catcher, and in turn feels a little bit more comfortable and confident while doing his speech, and feels pride not only in his culture but also pride in himself for doing such a good job. One of the strategies this week is visualizing, which is when we take the text and make a mental picture in our mind. And I found this text evidence that I thought was a really good one to talk about. It said, "He walked home, salty tears ran down his cheeks, his stomach hurt." When it says that salty tears ran down his cheeks, it makes me understand that he's not a little bit upset, like, oh, I don't really want to talk tomorrow. He's very, very upset. He's frightened. He's probably not very brave. And he said his stomach hurts. When my stomach hurts, that means that I'm nervous or anxious about something. So I feel like the author used some very good language in that part of the text to give us a really good mental picture of how much this frightens Peter to speak in front of his class. The comprehension skill this week is sequence, where you use a graphic organizer to break the story into smaller parts so that you have better comprehension. And I'm going to work through that with you next. So our main character is Peter and Peter's grandmother. It takes place where they live, which is not sure how to pronounce that word exactly, but Nicomo's home, so he must live with his grandmother, or maybe he's just visiting her there, although he does spend the night there, so they might live together. At the beginning of the story, we can say that Peter is upset. He explains to Grandma that he has to do a presentation for school. So that's how our story begins. And from there, Grandmother solves his problem in two ways. She calms him down by talking it through with him, but then she also gives him something to do his presentation on, which is a dream catcher. So we could say Peter and Grandmother work together to make a dream catcher. Now, the idea about a dream catcher is that it is supposed to catch your dreams as you're sleeping, which people think is kind of calming to them as well. So that is another way that Grandmother helps Peter feel better about the situation. And by the end, Peter does his presentation, is very brave, and feels a lot of pride in what he did. Peter is able to confidently present how to make a dream catcher in school. So by breaking the story into smaller parts, we can kind of revisit the beginning, the middle, end of a story, which helps organize our thoughts and comprehension of what we read. I hope this helps you understand more of your floppy book and guide you along with the questions. Have a great day. Bye.